Oof, sleepy. Well, I slept. When did I go to bed? Right after the U of A shoe game, which was about 10:30 or 11. So until about 9ish, kind of on and off. That's not bad. I said about 10 hours. I sleep pretty good. I sleep pretty good for a person that's in the shape that I'm in and the abuse that I've gone through and still going through. It's obvious. But I'm crazy people. Focus on survive, stop, eliminate abuse, and recover. Because the protesters on TV are just as pathetic as the military. They offer no solutions. There's no viable solutions to the recurring problems. They're the same addicts. They're just one team needs the other team to keep the fight going, right? And when you act like you don't want to fight, but you want to be successful over the money, you're fighting over the money. You just do it in a different way. Oh, so they're watching that kid do that exploration of that house in L.A., and you're sitting there looking at it, all these parties with the bar and the this and the servants' interests and stuff, and you're like, I wonder how many people were sexually exploited in that house. I wonder how many people, or possibly, it almost looks like a mobster house, where the one like Sonny had with the down in the room so you're sitting there looking at it like, whoa, and you're like, no, how dare you? It's not stereotypical. It's just look at it. Okay, you have like side entrance, servants' quarters, yada yada, and apartments where people come and stay. It's not necessarily more like that. I think that's because you have an intercom system. It looks like it's more of a servants' quarters to get up and take care of and serve the house is what it looks more like. Okay. And so it's that kind of thinking in that kind of a house. If you look at it as family and friends and stuff, you think it's really neat, but that's not what it's intended to do. It's not people that you're talking about. This is 1966, and in Hollywood, this is not people that do their own dishes, that clean their own toilets, and stuff. You don't think about it, but then you see the detail on the sink and the deck and the art styles and stuff, and you're like, oh, wow, well, that sucks. Yeah, it really does. Okay. And so when you look at those places, they're not homes. Okay. It's a business. So the guy was looking at the electrical thing and all this stuff. It's really neat. It's like, it's not. The memories there are hoard. The memories in all those houses are hoard. It's a business. There people are sexually exploited, sexually taken advantage of, emotionally abused, emotionally taken advantage of. So anytime you sit and you look at those kind of domiciles, it's not really a domicile, it's a business. Okay. A domicile is a place where people live and together and love one another. Hey.
You know where the Oregon Step School is?
Yes, it's in here.
Underneath it.
Okay, so they're over there cleaning the house. Sorry. We usually don't do a lot of heavy cleaning on the house till after harvest, and then the house is usually the last to get we clean it, but I don't do any kind of a deep clean or a thorough cleaning until after harvest and after all the outdoor work is done. Because you can do all the outdoor work, you're just going to bring all the dirt inside. So, but they're doing it, so, I'll let them do it. But, because that's cool, because I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I still got to finish the roof and the part of the shed. I still got to finish the the plants and cut all the stuff and put it in a burn pit thing and burn that stuff and clean all that stuff out and cut back all the flowers and all the trees and stuff that need cutting back and stuff. So I got to do all that stuff first and then take the mower out and cut down all the stuff that's going to come up and in the flower bed things over there. So I got to do all that stuff. So get all that stuff done. But when people are in economic conflict, to manipulate people through economic conflict, the effects are residual, and they're psychologically and emotionally damaging. People think as far as economic competition and how to survive economic competition, and then perpetuate it and pass it on to their kids, and that's just sick and it's insane. And you saw during the COVID, when they were all sitting there wanting those clubs where Clyde McPhatter and Tommy Edwards drank themselves to death because they were so depressed because they just destroyed their lives and their existence, and all the romance they sang about they couldn't have because you have to be part of a business. You got to continue the business. And the same, where Billie Holiday was literally raped to death and then couldn't get over it and killed herself with drugs. So, so how is that any different than, if you were in the Mormon church or the Catholic church and you were sexually abused, you can get a lawsuit. Why are you suing? Okay, money's not real. Money is a human invention to manipulate stupid people first, evil people to feel powerful, and stupid people to accept it, hypocrite and the heathen, right? So you guys got to understand how unintelligent you are and how abused you've been. And this is biological conditioning over hundreds of thousands of years. Not just tens, not since Adonis. This is something that's happened before civilization. This is Stonehenge. This is praying to the gods on the mountain. This is Parthenon. This is oodle-ollie, golly, what a day. And all those big, evil monuments to human, over-exaggerated self-importance and delusions of grandeur, And then, I know, in sports stadiums and stuff like that. I think the best thing you could do with sports stadiums is you're going to have a lot of bad memories in there, too. Mass murderers, doing business deals and the luxury boxes, and that's a tough one. So, you're going to have less like, Altamirano Field, Dregs Court. You're going to have less bad memories in little places like that because there just wasn't enough bank to do, stuff like that. So you'd probably have a little bit more fun playing games in there. Not a lot of banners on the wall for a lot of championships, right? The last one was 1984 in basketball, and that's when they were a renegade program and bad because, they had to do what they had to do to keep up with the Joneses and the Towns to win. And that's hard. It's very hard. Because what, Coach Hernandez told me about the star players at Grand Canyon when he was assistant coaching there. Was it what John Sumate or whatever? But he's going to be, they're very selfish people. They're really, really selfish people. I was like, but you coach them. Yeah, he coaches them because it's a job. Oh, fuck. Okay. He's got to pay his bills. He's married. He's got kids, right? Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, you don't look at it that way, but you get into it and then go, oh, God, these guys are horrible. They're selfish. Yeah, they want their grades taken care of. They want sex with girls. They're really bad people. I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, no, they're very selfish people, Earl. And I was like, and that's why he liked me and tried to get me into the, he was going to save me with going to Southwest Bible College and paying for, because I was a well-intended good kid that was a nice kid. He there was all the gossip about me, but Coach Hernandez was like, this kid's actually probably a pretty good kid. There's a good kid in there. There's a Navajo kid in there. Who? Where? Right? And he was a good guy. He reminded me a lot of Lawrence. I liked Coach Hernandez a lot. I thought he was a very good person. The way he taught his class, I took remedial math from him. I was in remedial math because I just got bored with the advanced math classes because they were excessive, compulsive, and abusive. I didn't drop out of them because I couldn't understand them. I just got the I didn't find it challenging. I found it annoying. And the further you got into the breaking down to the lowest component and the greatest component, the more I got, oh, fuck. So why are we doing this? Because they're great. Okay, son of a bitch. Okay. Interest rates, variable interest rates. Break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. And it's like you break everything down to the most minute detail. It's like the body when they took the body apart and examined it to try to fix it after they destroy it. It's like, well, the best way to not have to break the body down and destroy it, you already know about it because you digest. I mean, you dissect a fetal pig, right? It's very similar to a human's anatomy, right? And then, of course, you know it because you're going to cut it up and you're going to process it for food to eat. Okay. You're going to see what you want to eat, how you want to eat, how to destroy. And so, it's human beings. They didn't do that with human beings because it was considered sacrilegious because you're not going to eat the human being. You're going to bury the human being and then let it feed what it ate its whole life. That's, we become the grass and the antelope eat the grass. And so it didn't seem sensible to sit there and, because you're not going to eat the human being. Right. And that's why it was always so taboo to cut up and look inside the inside of a human being. Okay. And so it was just the relative forms of understanding of people. Why are we doing this? Well, because we can make money off of people being sick. Ooh, I like that. Okay, Nelson Rockefeller. And so, and you're going to image it and just, okay, why are we doing that? If we know what the problem is and we know what's wrong, let's stop doing what's wrong for it to be a problem. Okay, there's the end of your medical industry. Hallelujah, fucking brother. Have you ever watched, I was just the movie Coolie High, right? And so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, right? And the one kid gets killed because of all the aggressiveness and the sexual tribalism and the ambition through aggressiveness and sexual tribalism, right? And the other one survives it. And he feels guilty because he's going to survive it and possibly find a way to get out of it in that extensive, but you can't because it goes everywhere you go. It's like when I talked to Amy about when they all came and challenged me in Sierra Vista. I said, well, and she had those books, those Muslim books, because all those guys that were predicating on her that were encouraged to do so, programmed by the CIA that were supposed to be Muslims and were terrorist cells. And the reason why they were getting through to her because she was being like Jamie Lee Curtis from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, They're the bad guys. We're the good guys. We're getting this is and that's what it is as long as you always break into the bad guys and the good guys because you're fighting over money for human dominance, for human success, that's going to always happen. Because there's always going to be someone on the outside looking in, right? We all can't be Jennifer Lopez. We all can't be Taylor Swift. We all can't be Gregory Hines, but we can all live the Lord's Prayer and not be extorted, exploited, and abused for, our talents or stuff. And the thing about it is like I was thinking about it this morning too, and last night, my dreams and stuff is when you sing songs because you love to sing and it feels good, and you sing songs about things that are pertinent to you. And you don't have to go on the road and pay your bills and win awards and have a catalog and be a billionaire and be an influencer and an idiot and a moron and an egomaniac. You're going to have a better catalog. Country boy, you got your feet in L.A., but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free, right? And he would play boom, doom, doom, boom, boom, doom, 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 the boy on the little Tennessee flat top box. Now, most of our songs for entertainment were derived because of the institutions and the industry of entertainment. And the reason we all can relate is because we're all psychologically, emotionally, and mentally affected by this emotional puppy mill for over 100,000 years. Right? It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. No, it's not. Billie Holiday being a prostitute by the time she was 12 and then killing herself with drugs because she couldn't stop the noise. Nah, I can let go of that real too. Fuck, sweet, fuck, good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Okay, You know, might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache. Sit down. No, fuck that shit. Get the hell out of here. Okay, no servants' quarters, no this, no that. You know, houses for families, built to last, right? No, you know, you don't need a pool in your house. You don't need all that. A basketball, you don't need a basketball gym in your house, but a basketball barn to share with your community. That's cool. Yeah. Morning, Fred. Morning, Sam. Right? Getting your shots up? Yeah. You know, it's always more fun to shoot with people than it is to do it all by yourself. Okay, it really is. It's more to have Fred and Sam and, you know, instead of everybody go to Denzel's house to shoot hoops, just, you know, that's a community place where we all get together and shoot hoops. You know. What about your friends? Who are you going to be around you? So, you know, you don't have any real friends because you have to be the focal point of the social group. Because the sun rises and sets on your ass. It does on everyone else's as well, but you want to bottle the sun and sell it to everybody else. And say, you have to come, you know, yeah. Like I got that with a lot of music groups. You know, I have to carry you niggas because he's the talent and, you know, and the rest. And it's like, and the money gets divided in the air. And you're like, you see, if you eliminate all money conflict and having to pay to live here and you stand up for a Lord's Prayer and you be a man like me instead of a twit like you, then, you know, you get together. Okay. I don't have plans and schemes, and Dana doesn't fuss because, okay, you know. And if they come up with a song where Janet sings lead and people like that too, share it. Public domain. Well, that's nice. What a beautiful expression. I like that. Reminds me of my doggy. Reminds me of my Emily. Reminds me of my Kate. So that's lovely, right? See the tree, how big it's grown, but friend, it hasn't been too long. It wasn't big. And crying over sad and silly late late shows. A lot of that stuff's just going to ride off into the sunset. Praise the Lord. I know. Okay. And you all, oh, that's terrible. No, it's not. They didn't have propaganda indoctrination to join the group to be successful, to have delusions of human grandeur back during the book of Job and the book of Malachi. Oh, their lives were miserable because of people like you, not because they were miserable people. Okay. But when you do something intelligent, okay, intellectually and scientifically, okay, like Haile Selassie said, if you use it for selfishness, you negate all the wisdom. SR 71, U2. I don't know, it was the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels. I think I saw both when I was young. And I just thought to myself, that's crazy. You know, you could be doing stunts and stuff and get yourself killed. If one thing goes wrong, pow, you're all dead, right? It's so impressive. Yeah, it's impressive. Why? It's a group psychosis. It's a group psychosis. I'd rather make cookies with Kate and make sure, you know, when you're irrigating, you go, watch out, you don't want to fall there. Just okay, honey, watch us, you know. Red on yellow, Phil, friend on black, friend of Jack, you know. To me, that's much more, you know, respect the spider. Here's how we make the blanket, right? And that's, to me, much more beautiful and respectful and fun than watching warplanes fly in tight formation to show how they can get in and out and blow people up and, you know, shoot Womperats or whatever, and, you know, and blow up the Death Star. And it's like, okay, why are we blowing up the Death Star? Because we built the Death Star, because we blew the planet up. How do we build the Death Star after we blew the planet up? That would throw the whole solar system out. Why could it go supernova and we'd all be dead? I know, but don't explain that. Just relax and enjoy the movie. Where's my Foxy Cleopatra? Okay, do you see what's going on here? I don't want Foxy Cleopatra. She's an idiot. Oh, you're right. Okay, thank you. Where's my Ruth? Where's my Esther? Esther's being tortured by the king of Persia in opulent insanity. Where's Ruth? Trying to remind all the people in ancient Judea what they built their faith off of and where they came from. You know, so a woman who married a guy outside the group had to come in and remind the group who they were. Esther's wonderful. She's gorgeous. They were becoming shallow and superficial, just like the people on the outside looking in. That's fucked up. Well, it becomes pervasive when the group, it's like the 100-month syndrome, when the group becomes, hey, we all want to be God. We all want to replace omniscience with our ego. Then it affects everybody, and it becomes absolutely horrible. And my God's better than your God. My God's better than yours. Okay, God's omniscient, omnipotent. Shut up and go home. I don't want to hear you sing ever again. Okay? So, I tried to watch Slenda the Barbarian. It's just not as exciting or fun when I was stupid and being brain abused by a bunch of perverts that were home invading me and challenging me to see how special and important and intelligent and brave and how amazing the body and the mind of the Messiah was. Go Ezra Taft Benson. Go Pope John Paul, you're Paul. Oh, don't do that to Paul. I love Paul. Paul's my friend. Okay. I love Mr. Ponce. But, he believed I was capable of cleaning this up. Yeah, it's a good man. Him and old Ronnie. Yeah, I don't want to be a rhinestone cowboy, Ronnie. Don't wish that on me. I just want to go to the Gila and have all the lights turned down and then be able to be Patrick out there and going, oh, I love the stars out here. Do you know they're similar in Phoenix now? Well, get the fuck out of here. Really? Similar. Not exactly. There's a large group of people because it's in a river basin and there's more lights. Okay. Bright lights, big city, gone to my baby's head. All right, guys, we'll talk later. I'll kick your butt some more. Naturally, of course. Well, I'm gorgeous. I'm going to kick your ass till you live in the Lord's Prayer. All right, peace.